Quantum Break. Quantum Break is a really interesting game that mixes a third-person shooter with time manipulation powers, and it even has a TV show built into it. It's a bit of a mind-bender, but in a good way. You play as Jack Joyce, and he gets these time-bending abilities. After a science experiment goes wrong, suddenly time is all messed up, and he can do things like slow it down, rewind it, or even freeze it completely. It's pretty cool. The gameplay is a mix of shooting and using these time powers. You'll be fighting bad guys, and you can use your powers to get an edge in combat. Imagine freezing time and then unloading a clip into an enemy before time resumes, that kind of thing. But it's not just about shooting. There are also parts where you have to solve puzzles using your time powers, like maybe a bridge is broken in time and you have to rewind it to make it whole again so you can cross. What's really unique about Quantum Break is the TV show. After certain parts of the game, you get to watch an episode of a show that tells the story from the bad guy's perspective, and the choices you make in the game actually affect what happens in the show. It's a really cool way to tell a story. So, Quantum Break is a game that's all about time manipulation, shooting, and a really interesting story that's told through both the game and a TV show. It's a bit different from other games out there, and it's definitely worth checking out if you like games with a unique twist. Open Roads.
But looking through her old things...
Open Roads tells the story of Tess, a teenager, and her mom, Opal, who embark on a road trip that turns into much more than just a drive. It all starts when they're cleaning out their attic and stumble upon some old letters and a few other clues. These clues suggest there's a hidden treasure somewhere near the Canadian border, and it seems like Opal has been keeping some secrets about their family history. Intrigued, they decide to pack up the car and hit the open road. The gameplay in Open Roads is primarily focused on exploration and interaction. You'll be driving along scenic routes, stopping at various roadside attractions, small towns, and other interesting locations. When you arrive at a new place, you can explore the environment, clicking on objects to examine them more closely and uncover more clues. Talking to Opal is also a crucial part of the game. You'll have conversations with her about what you find, trying to piece together the mystery of the hidden treasure and learn more about your family's past. It's like playing a detective game, but instead of focusing on a big external mystery, the focus is on the more personal and emotional mystery of Tess' family.
Oh, Grandpa Leo was a bowler? He and Dad have that in common.
The story is really the heart of Open Roads. It's a coming-of-age story for Tess, as she's not only trying to find a treasure, but also trying to figure out who she is and where she belongs. It's also a story about the complicated relationship between Tess and her mom. They've had their ups and downs, and this road trip is a chance for them to reconnect and understand each other better. As you play, you'll learn more about their past, their struggles, and the things they've been keeping from each other. Open Roads is a bit of a mixed bag. It's a short game, and the gameplay isn't anything too spectacular, but if you're in the mood for a road trip adventure, this one's worth checking out. The game has a really unique visual style, blending detailed 3D environments with hand-drawn 2D character animations. It feels like you're playing through a moving comic book, which is super cool. The visuals are stunning and fit perfectly with the intimate vibe of the story. Plus, the voice acting is top-notch. Kerry Russell and Caitlin Dever really bring Opal and Tess to life. Their performances feel genuine and make the characters relatable, so you really connect with them throughout the journey.
Trip. This is gonna be great.
A Way Out. A Way Out is a unique co-op adventure. It's designed specifically for 2 players, and you have to play it with another person, either online or in the same room. It's not a single-player game with a co-op mode. It's built from the ground up to be a shared experience. You play as either Leo or Vincent, 2 inmates who break out of prison together. The story follows their escape and their lives on the run, and it's full of twists and turns. It's a pretty cinematic experience, almost like a playable movie. The gameplay is varied. There's stealth, action, driving, and even some mini-games. Because it's co-op, you and your partner will often have to work together to overcome obstacles. For example, one player might distract a guard while the other player opens a door. It's all about communication and coordination. The game uses split screen a lot, even when you're not right next to each other in the game world. This allows you to see what both characters are doing at the same time, which is really cool and adds to the immersion. A Way Out isn't a super long game, but it's designed to be played in 1 or 2 sittings. It's a focused experience. It's all about the co-op gameplay and the story. So, A Way Out is a unique and fun co-op adventure. If you're looking for a game to play with a friend or family member, this is a great choice. It's a different kind of game, and it's definitely worth experiencing. Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus is a game where you shoot a lot of Nazis. It's set in a world where the Nazis won World War II, which is a pretty scary thought. You play as BJ Blazkowicz, a really tough guy. People call him Terror Billy because he's so good at killing Nazis. He's trying to start a revolution in America, which is now controlled by the Nazis. It's a pretty messed up situation, but BJ is determined to fight back. The game is mostly about shooting, like a lot of shooting. You get to use all sorts of weapons. There are regular guns like pistols and shotguns, but there are also some crazy futuristic weapons that the Nazis have. You can even dual wield weapons, which means you can hold in each hand and shoot twice as many Nazis. It's pretty intense and there's a lot of blood and explosions. The shooting feels really good though. The guns feel powerful and it's satisfying to take down enemies. Wolfenstein 2 isn't just a serious gritty game though. It's also kind of crazy and over the top. It knows it's a video game and it doesn't take itself too seriously. There are some really ridiculous moments, funny lines, and just plain weird stuff that happens. It's like a B-movie action film, but you get to play it. But even though it's crazy, the story is actually pretty good. It's not just about killing Nazis, it's about why you're killing them. It explores themes of freedom, oppression, and what war does to people. BJ Blazkowicz is a complicated character. He's a tough guy, but he's also got feelings and worries. The game shows you his struggles and what motivates him to keep fighting. It's a surprisingly deep story for a game that's mostly about shooting. You get to visit a bunch of different places in the game. They're all based on real places in America, but they've been changed a lot because the Nazis are in charge. There are ruined cities, big Nazi bases, and all sorts of other interesting locations. The levels are designed so you can explore them and find hidden stuff, but they're also designed for intense gunfights. There's always something to shoot at. So Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus is a game where you shoot a ton of Nazis. It's fast, it's violent, it's kind of crazy, and it has a surprisingly good story. It's not just mindless action. There's actually something to think about while you're playing. If you like shooting games and you don't mind a lot of blood and over-the-top action, you should definitely check it out. It's a wild ride, but it's a fun one. Metro Exodus. Metro Exodus is a game where you explore a big, messed up Russia after a nuclear war. It's a first-person shooter, which means you see the world through the character's eyes, and it's also a survival horror game, so things can get pretty scary. It's the third game in the Metro series, but this time, you're not stuck in the tunnels under Moscow anymore. You get to go outside and see what's left of the world. You play as Artyom, who was also the main character in the other Metro games. He and a bunch of other people who survived the war decide to leave the Metro and try to find a new place to live. They hop on a train and travel across the country, which is now a wasteland. It's a long and dangerous journey, and they meet all sorts of people along the way. The story is less about one big goal and more about the journey itself and the characters you meet. The game is a mix of shooting, sneaking around, and exploring. The shooting is tough, you don't have a lot of bullets, and your guns can break down. You have to scavenge for supplies and keep your weapons in good shape if you want to survive. Sneaking around is also important. Sometimes it's better to avoid a fight altogether and you can sneak past enemies or take them down quietly. Exploring is a big part of the game too. There are lots of hidden places to discover and you can find useful items and learn more about the world by exploring. Metro Exodus has a day and night cycle and a weather system that changes. This makes the game more challenging. Some enemies are more active at night and it can be harder to see in bad weather. You have to be careful and plan your moves based on the time of day and the weather. There's also a crafting system. You can use resources you find to make ammo, med kits, and other things that will help you survive. Managing your resources is really important. You don't want to run out of bullets or med kits when you're in a tough spot. The story in Metro Exodus is more personal than the stories in the other Metro games. It's about Artyom and his relationships with the people he's traveling with. It's about hope, survival, and trying to find a better future in a world that's been destroyed. It's a pretty emotional story, and you really get to know the characters. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy puts you in the boots of Star-Lord, the leader of the Guardians. It's an action-adventure game focusing on the dynamic between the Guardians, explosive combat encounters, This game isn't exactly like the movies, but it has the same kind of feel. Lots of action, funny moments, and really cool soundtracks. It's like a big space adventure with your favorite superhero team. The game is mostly about fighting, exploring, and making choices in conversations. The fighting is fast and exciting. Star-Lord has his blasters, which are like space guns, and he has other gadgets he can use. But the cool part is that you can also tell the other Guardians what to do. Each Guardian has their own special powers, and you have to work together as a team to beat the bad guys. It's like being a team leader, figuring out the best way to use everyone's abilities. You also get to explore a lot. You'll visit different planets and spaceships, and there are lots of things to find. You can look for hidden items, resources that you can use, and secret areas that you might have missed. The places you go are really detailed and interesting, so it's fun to just wander around and see what you can discover. The choices you make in the conversations are important. You'll often have to decide what Star-Lord says or does, and these choices can change how the story goes. They can also affect how the other Guardians feel about you. It's like you're really part of the team, and your decisions matter. The story is a big part of the game. It's a fun and exciting story with lots of humor. The Guardians are always joking around and teasing each other, and it makes the game really enjoyable. It's not just a silly story though. There are also some serious moments and some emotional parts. You really get to know the Guardians and care about what happens to them.
Alright, I'm pretty sure we've all caught our breath.
A Plague Tale Requiem. This game is like a storybook, but a dark and sometimes sad one. It's the second game in a series, and it continues the story of Amicia and Hugo. They live in medieval France, and there's a terrible plague going around. It's like the Black Death, and it's making everyone sick. Hugo, the little brother, has a special connection to the rats that are spreading the plague. It's a weird and scary connection, and Amicia is trying to find a way to help him. The game is mostly about sneaking around, solving puzzles, and sometimes fighting. Amicia isn't a super strong fighter. She's smart and resourceful. She uses a sling to throw rocks at enemies, and she has other tools she can use, but mostly she tries to avoid fighting altogether. She sneaks past guards and uses distractions to get by. There are also puzzles you have to solve. They often involve using the environment or Hugo's special connection to the rats. Like maybe you need to make the rats move a certain way to open a door or something. The story is really important in this game. It's about Amicia and Hugo and their relationship. They love each other very much, and they'll do anything to protect each other. The story is also about the terrible things that people do to each other during times of trouble. It can be pretty sad and upsetting, but it's also a powerful story about hope and survival. The game looks amazing. It's very detailed and realistic, and it makes the world feel very real. It's also pretty creepy. The rats are everywhere, and they're really scary. The game does a great job of making you feel like you're really there in the middle of all the danger. So, A Plague Tale Requiem is a game about a girl and her brother trying to survive a plague. It's a game about sneaking, puzzles, and a powerful story. It's dark and sometimes sad, but it's also a beautiful and moving game. If you like games with a good story, and you don't mind a little bit of scariness, you might like this one. Mafia Definitive Edition. Mafia Definitive Edition is a remake of the original Mafia game. It tells the story of Tommy Angelo, a cab driver in the 1930s who gets unwillingly drawn into the world of organized crime. It's a classic gangster narrative full of betrayal, loyalty, and the seductive allure of power. The game is a third-person shooter with a focus on narrative and character development. You'll experience Tommy's rise through the ranks of the Salieri crime family, undertaking various missions from simple errands to elaborate heists. These missions often involve driving, shooting, and sometimes hand-to-hand combat. The driving mechanics are a key part of the game, and they're designed to feel authentic to the 1930s era. Cars are slower and handle differently than modern vehicles, adding a layer of challenge to chases and getaways. The combat is cover-based, and it's important to use your surroundings to your advantage. Ammunition can be scarce, so you'll need to be accurate and conserve your resources. The story is the heart of Mafia Definitive Edition. It's a well-written and engaging narrative that explores the complexities of the criminal underworld. Tommy's journey from an ordinary cab driver to a made man is compelling, and the characters he interacts with are memorable and well-developed. The game's atmosphere is also a strong point. The 1930s setting is beautifully realized with detailed environments and a soundtrack that perfectly captures the era. It really feels like you've stepped back in time to a world of gangsters, speakeasies, and classic cars. So, Mafia Definitive Edition is a great choice for anyone who enjoys a good gangster story. It's a well-crafted game with engaging gameplay, a compelling narrative, and a fantastic atmosphere. It's a classic tale of organized crime brought to life with this amazing remake.
Use my trust.
Don Salieri. You won't ever need to worry about me.
Shadow of the Colossus. Now this one's just on another level. It's not loud, it's not packed with cutscenes or big dialogue moments, but somehow it hits harder than most games even today. It came out back on the PS2 in 2005, and it's still one of the most unique and emotional games ever made. You play as this quiet dude named Wander, and he shows up at this huge empty land, carrying a girl who's, well, dead or dying. It's not super clear. All you know is he wants to bring her back. And to do that, he makes a deal with this mysterious voice in the sky. The deal? Kill 16 giant creatures called Colossi. That's it. No small enemies, no towns, no side quests, just you, your horse aggro, and 16 massive beasts standing between you and your goal. And that's what makes this game so different. Every fight is like a boss battle, but also like a puzzle. These colossi are huge, like moving mountains. And each one is built differently. Some fly, some swim, some run fast, some climb walls. You have to figure out how to reach the weak spots, climb up their massive bodies, and stab them while they shake you off. It's not easy, and it's not always fast, but that's the point. Every fight feels epic, and when one of them finally falls, it's not even a victory, it's kind of sad. That's the thing about this game. It's got this quiet, heavy vibe, no music while you travel. Just wind, birds, and the sound of your horse's hooves. The whole world feels empty, but in a beautiful way. You start to feel alone, and the more colossi you take down, the more you start to wonder, am I the good guy here? The story doesn't tell you everything. It lets you think, it lets you feel weird about what you're doing. It plays with guilt, sacrifice, and the idea of doing something bad for someone you love. It's simple, but powerful. Even on PS2, this game looked amazing. The size of the world, the lighting, the way the colossi move, it was all way ahead of its time. And when they remade it for PS4, it looked even better, but the soul of the game stayed the same. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Please, Dad's not listening.
It's just a straight up fun time, pure video game energy, no drama, no filler, just a smooth, colorful, fast-paced ride from start to finish. The kind of game that reminds you games can just be fun, you know? So you've got Ratchet, the classic Lombax hero, and his little robot buddy Clank, back again, but this time there's a twist. The universe is falling apart, literally, dimensions are colliding, timelines are breaking, and in the middle of all that, we meet Rivet, a female Lombax from another dimension. And honestly, she's awesome. Great design, solid writing, and she fits into the story without feeling like a forced addition. What makes this game feel fresh is how smooth and fast everything plays. The dimensional rift stuff isn't just a gimmick, it actually affects gameplay. You can zip across the battlefield or warp between worlds in seconds. Load times, basically non-existent thanks to the PS5. It's the kind of thing that feels super slick while you're playing, and you barely even notice how advanced it is because it's so seamless. Visually, this game is wild. It looks like a Pixar movie. Like, legit. The lighting, the particle effects, the animation, all crazy polished. It's probably one of the most colorful and cleanest looking games on PS5 to this day. You can pause it at any point and it'll look like a promotional screenshot. It's that polished. Gameplay-wise, it's a mix of third-person shooting, platforming, and just blowing stuff up with a ton of weird creative weapons. You've got guns that turn enemies into plants, ricochet balls, pixelators, lightning shotguns. It's not just about damage numbers, it's about having fun with what you use. The weapon variety is what makes combat never feel stale. And the best part? The pacing. No bloat, no dragging, you jump into the action, the jokes land, the worlds are beautiful and different, and everything just flows. It doesn't try to be more than it is. It's a good time with great vibes and a lot of heart. So the story is not deep or emotional like God of War or Last of Us, but that's not what this game's going for. It's light, it's adventurous, and it's got just enough personal moments to make you care about Ratchet, Clank, Rivet, and even Kit, another cool new character.
You are very strange, Ratchet.
I've been told that a time or two. Team?
Perhaps. Just this once. Yes, I will try.
Infamous Second Son. This one dropped in 2014, early in the PS4's life, and it was one of those first games that really showed people, yo, this is what next gen can look like now. It was super slick, super pretty, and yeah, even today it still holds up pretty well. We play as Delson Rowe, this young guy from Seattle who ends up getting powers after a freak accident. He starts off kind of cocky, kind of a troublemaker, but as the story goes on, he grows up a bit, especially once he realizes what kind of weight those powers carry. What's cool though is that you get to choose what kind of person Delson becomes. Good guy helping people, or total menace, doing whatever you want. That karma system wasn't super deep, but it worked well for keeping things interesting. Now the big draw here is definitely the superpowers, and not just one power. Delson can absorb other conduits' powers, so you get a whole set of different abilities to play with. Smoke, neon, video, yeah, like digital powers, and concrete. Each one feels different, like with smoke you're dashing through air vents, but with neon you're zooming around the city like a glowing blur. It made combat and traversal really fun because you could keep switching things up and never get bored. Speaking of the city, Seattle was a great pick for a setting. It's rainy, gritty, kind of moody, perfect for this kind of game. You can climb buildings, glide across rooftops, and blast enemies in the streets. There's always something to do, whether it's side missions, enemy bases, or just cruising around with powers. It's not a supermassive open world, but it's dense enough to keep you moving. That's fast, flashy, and satisfying, whether you're throwing smoke bombs, sniping people with neon beams, or ground pounding with concrete. It all feels clean. It's not super deep like some RPG systems, but it gets the job done and feels good to play. Plus the visuals, especially the particle effects, were a big deal back then and still look cool now. The Saboteur. The Saboteur is one of those games that a lot of people either missed or forgot about, but man, it really deserves more love. It's this open world action game set in Nazi-occupied France during World War II, but it's not just another war shooter. You're not a soldier, you're not in the army. You play as a rough, stubborn Irish guy named Sean Devlin, a race car mechanic turned freedom fighter, and this dude's got serious attitude. He drinks, he fights, he swears, and he hates Nazis. That's pretty much all you need to know. Now the coolest part, the way the world works. When you start off, Paris is black and white, literally, like the color's gone. Everything looks gray and lifeless, with just red glowing signs and lights from the Nazi regime. But when you start fighting back, blowing up towers, helping the resistance, freeing neighborhoods, the color comes back, slowly. The world fills up with life and light again. It's not just a gimmick either, it really makes you feel like you're making a difference in the world. Gameplay-wise, it's kind of like a mix of Assassin's Creed, GTA, and a little Hitman. You can climb buildings, sneak around, wear Nazi uniforms as disguises, or just go loud and blast everything with a shotgun. There are car chases, gunfights, stealth kills, explosives, all set in these gritty back alleys, rooftops, and wide-open countryside roads. It's not the smoothest game ever made, but it's got that scrappy, fun energy that keeps things exciting. The game does have some jank, a few bugs here and there, some rough edges, but the heart is there. It's got soul, and it does something different, which is rare for open world games. It's not trying to be massive, it's focused, stylish, and full of moments that make you go, yeah, this is sick.
There's our man now.
The Saboteur came out at the wrong time, got buried under bigger releases, and the studio behind it, Pandemic, shut down right after, so it never got the sequel it deserved. But even as a one-shot, it holds up. It's one of those forgotten gems that actually had something special.
Your homeland is such a popular tourist destination.
I don't get back much. Well, what are you then? Scotland Yard?
We are a dagger at the enemy's throat. The time has come to start cutting.
Last time I checked, your lot was losing this war.
Is that what you want, Mr. Devlin?
Spec Ops: The Line. Spec Ops: The Line is not your average military shooter. At first, yeah, it looks like just another third-person, cover-based war game. Desert setting, American soldiers, dusty streets, lots of yelling and bullets, but that's just the cover. What's underneath is something way darker, way smarter, and honestly, kinda disturbing. You play as Captain Martin Walker, leading a small squad into a ruined version of Dubai, which has been hit by massive sandstorms and is now basically cut off from the rest of the world. You're there to find survivors, figure out what happened, and maybe rescue a famous colonel who went silent. But the deeper you go, the more everything starts falling apart. Not just the city, but also your mission, your squad, and yourself. Gameplay-wise, it plays like a basic shooter at first. You take cover, you shoot, you toss grenades. Nothing flashy, nothing special, but that's the point. The game lures you in with the usual stuff. The hoorah action vibe, the military radio chatter, the basic war movie look. Then, it slowly starts messing with you. You start doing things you didn't expect, making choices you don't feel great about, and Walker starts changing too. At first, he's just doing his job, but by the end, he's somewhere else entirely.
I'm gonna kill every last one of your men.
And yeah, the game is heavy. There's one scene, if you played it, you know exactly which one, where the game just hits you in the gut. You think you're doing the right thing, following orders, being the good guy, and then the game pulls the rug out. It doesn't yell at you, it just shows you what you did and makes you sit with it. No joke, it's one of the most powerful moments in any game. If you've never played it, or if you brushed it off as just another shooter, trust me, go back and try it. This game leaves a mark. Hitman Absolution. A Hitman Absolution is the black sheep of the Hitman series, but for me, it's still a damn good game if you take it for what it is. Yeah, it's different from the classic sandbox Hitman style. It's more focused, more story-driven, and way more linear. But that's also what makes it kinda cool in its own way. You're still playing as Agent 47, the cold, bald assassin with a barcode on the back of his head, but this time he's not just taking contracts. The story's more personal. He's protecting a young girl named Victoria who's got a messed up past and trying to stay one step ahead of a bunch of violent freaks, crooked cops, gang leaders, weird cult types, all while the agency he used to work for is now after him. Right away, you'll notice the tone is darker, grimmier, more emotional. This ain't fancy suits and quiet piano music. This is back alleys, sleazy strip clubs, motel shootouts, and people getting thrown out of windows. The vibe feels closer to Max Payne than classic Hitman sometimes. And yeah, it rubs some fans the wrong way, but if you like that gritty cinematic feel, this is perfect. Gameplay's a mix. Some levels are tight little stealth playgrounds where you sneak around, change disguises, take out targets in clever ways. Classic Hitman stuff. Other levels are more like set pieces with shootouts, chases, and scripted scenes. It's more guided, but still gives you room to mess around and get creative. You've still got all the toys, fiber wire, silenced pistols, screwdrivers, disguises, distractions, just in smaller spaces. Now, yeah, it's not, if you're looking for those big open-ended sandbox levels like in Hitman Blood Money or the newer trilogy, you won't get much of that here, but if you're cool with a more focused, story-heavy approach with strong stealth and some action sprinkled in, Absolution still holds up. Beyond Two Souls.
So tired.
Beyond Two Souls is one of those games that people love to hate on, but honestly, I thought it was actually super interesting. It's not your usual action game, it's more like this emotional, mysterious journey through someone's life, with a little bit of supernatural weirdness thrown in, and if you're into heavy story-driven stuff like Detroit or Life is Strange, this one's totally worth checking out. You play as Jodie Holmes, a girl who's had this ghost-like thing attached to her since she was a kid. It's not really a ghost, it's called Aiden, and it follows her everywhere. Sometimes it protects her, sometimes it freaks out, sometimes it causes chaos, but it's always there and Jodie has to live with it. That's the whole game, really. Her life, from childhood to adulthood, all tied up with a strange connection.
Stop it, Aiden. They don't give a shit if we break everything in this goddamn room.
The way the game's told is kind of wild. The timeline jumps all over the place. One moment you're a little kid in a lab, the next you're homeless on the street, then suddenly you're on a military mission in some war zone. And yeah, that threw a lot of people off, but I kind of liked it. It made the whole story feel like a puzzle, like you're slowly figuring out who Jodie really is and what her deal is. Now the gameplay is pretty chill. You mostly walk around, interact with stuff, and make choices in conversations. There are a few action scenes where you have to dodge or fight using slow motion button prompts, and when you control Aiden, you can float around, pass through walls, move objects, or even possess people. It's not fast-paced or anything, but it keeps things interesting, especially with how different each chapter feels. And yeah, I get why some people didn't like it. It's not super deep in terms of gameplay, and the story gets a little messy near the end. Some folks thought it was too serious, too dramatic, or just kind of all over the place. But for me, that's what made it different. It's mysterious, emotional, and full of moments where you're just sitting there thinking, what the hell is going on, and where is this going? In a good way. The Wolf Among Us.
This whole time! Listen to your wife. Just calm down.
The Wolf Among Us is honestly one of the coolest, slickest story games ever made. Like, if you've never played it and you're into those choice-driven Telltale style games, this one's a must, no question. It's got that same vibe as The Walking Dead or Life is Strange, but instead of sad zombies or teen drama, this one drops you into this dark, neon-soaked fairy tale world, full of mystery and murder. You play as Big Wolf, yeah, like the big bad wolf, but now he's the sheriff of a secret hidden town called Fabletown, where all the old fairy tale characters live in disguise. Snow White, Beauty and the Beast, Ichabod Crane, even the 3 little pigs, they're all here just trying to survive in the real world, and no one's living happily ever after anymore.
What's going on, do you?
Who do you work for, really?
My lips are sealed. These lips are sealed.
The game kicks off with a brutal murder, and Bigby gets pulled into this deep investigation full of twists, shady people, and secrets nobody wants to talk about. It's gritty, it's moody, and every conversation feels like it could go off the rails if you say the wrong thing. That's where the gameplay comes in. It's all about your choices. What you say, what you do, how you handle people. You can be calm or you can be a total beast. The game remembers. The vibe is unreal. It's like a mix of Sin City and Grimm's fairy tales, but told with this comic book style that just pops. Everything's glowing purple and pink, the shadows are thick, and the characters all feel real, even though they're from stories. It's that perfect balance of fantasy and modern noir.
What is this? Bigby.
What you did to the door! You can't just act like this whenever
Stand back. You don't want to see this.
The Darkness. The Darkness is one of those forgotten gems from the Xbox 360 and PS3 days that honestly deserves way more love than it gets. If you've never played it or maybe never even heard of it, don't feel bad, a lot of people missed it. But this thing was special, man. Real dark, real moody, and surprisingly emotional. You play as Jackie Estacado, a hitman for the mob, who, on his 21st birthday, finds out he's got this ancient evil power inside him called the Darkness. It's not just a cool name, it's a full-on demonic force that lives in him, talks to him, and lets him do all kinds of crazy stuff. Like you can summon creepy little goblin creatures, rip out people's hearts, shoot tentacles through walls, even create a black hole that sucks enemies in. It's brutal, it's bloody, and it feels awesome. Gameplay mixes guns and powers, you're dual-wielding pistols, while your demon arms are grabbing enemies, snapping necks, pulling off brutal executions. You feel powerful, but the game never lets you forget that this thing inside you, it's not your friend, it wants to use you. Jackie's always kind of on the edge, part hero, part monster. But the Darkness wasn't perfect, some parts are a little dated now, some mechanics are a bit clunky, but the atmosphere, the story, the voice work, and the way it balances violence with emotion, still totally worth it. Bad Max. Mad Max is straight up one of the most slept on open world games out there. Like when it came out in 2015, it got buried under all the hype for Metal Gear Solid 5. Same release day, bad timing, and a lot of people just passed on it. But if you actually sat down and played it, man, this game is actually so fun. So yeah, you're Max. Quiet dude, rough past, trying to survive in this post-apocalyptic wasteland where everything's dust, rust, and chaos. Right at the start, these war boys jack your car, beat you down, and leave you for dead. Classic. But Max don't stay down. He gets up, finds this weird little hunchback mechanic named Chumbucket who calls him the Saint, and together they start building a new beast of a car, the Magnum Opus. That car, it's everything. Your lifeline, your weapon, your ride or die, the whole game is built around it. You upgrade it piece by piece, better armor, spike wheels, nitro boost, a giant harpoon, and then go full Mad Max mode, tearing through enemy camps and convoys. The driving combat is so satisfying. You're ramming fools off the road, yanking drivers out of their cars, blowing stuff up mid-chase. It's pure action movie chaos. On foot, the combat's kinda like Arkham or Shadow of Mordor. Big punches, counter moves, brutal finishers. Max doesn't fight pretty, he fights mean. Headbutts, gut punches, slams, it all feels heavy and nasty, just like it should in a world where people are fighting over scraps. The map is huge, but not in that bloated Ubisoft way. It's all desert, yeah, but every zone feels different. Abandoned airfields, oil camps, dried out seas full of shipwrecks, and weird culty outposts. You're always finding something messed up or creepy, whether it's scarecrow towers to rip down or enemy camps to clear out. And here's the thing, it's got a vibe. Real lonely, real broken. You can feel how empty and hopeless this world is. Max barely talks. The music is slow and moody when you're driving alone. The sky turns blood red during storms and thunder just roars through the silence. It nails that last man on Earth feeling. Mad Max didn't get the love it deserved when it dropped, but trust me, it's absolutely worth playing now. Great atmosphere, tight gameplay, and just a full-on badass ride through the apocalypse. If you ever wanted to feel like you're living in a Mad Max movie, this game delivers. Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 is one of the most underrated first-person shooters ever made, like, no joke. This thing is a straight-up masterpiece, and most people slept on it. It dropped in 2016, right in the middle of a brutal release window between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, so it kinda got buried. But if you've played it, you already know, this game is next level. First off, yeah, it's a fast-paced FPS with parkour and big-ass robots. You're a pilot, and pilots in this world are like super soldiers. You can run on walls, double jump, slide like a maniac, cloak, toss grenades, and the movement just feels buttery smooth. Like once you get into the rhythm, it's addicting. Every jump, every wall run, every slide into a shotgun blast, it just flows. But what makes Titanfall 2 special isn't just the movement or the sick multiplayer, though that's amazing too. It's the single player campaign. Yeah, a short one, only like 5-6 hours, but it's pound for pound one of the best FPS campaigns ever made. You play as Jack Cooper, a regular rifleman who ends up bonding with a Titan named BT-7274 after their original pilot dies in battle. And yeah, BT's a robot, but by the end of the game, you'll love him like a bro. The writing is tight, the humor is dry, and the bond between Jack and BT is surprisingly emotional. And the missions? Dude, they do not miss. Every level has some kind of twist or gameplay hook that makes it stand out. 1 minute you're doing classic Titan combat, stomping through enemies, punching other mechs, launching missiles. The next minute you're in this mind-blowing time travel level that people still talk about to this day. If you know, you know. That level alone is better than entire campaigns from other shooters.
What just happened?
The Titan gameplay is just as slick. You hop in BT and suddenly the game shifts. It's heavy, powerful, and tactical. You can swap between different loadouts mid-fight. One has a giant sword, another has a big shield, another just unloads with rockets, and it all just feels awesome. You're not just a guy with a robot, you are the robot. And it rules! The whole campaign is full of moments that make you stop and go, yo, this is sick. It's creative, it respects your time, and it knows when to go big and when to slow down. No filler, no fluff, just straight heat from start to finish. Tales from the Borderlands. Tales from the Borderlands is honestly one of the best things Telltale ever made. And yeah, I'm saying that even with Walking Dead and Wolf Among Us on the table. Like, this game, it's got heart, it's got laughs, it's got moments that'll low-key catch you off guard emotionally. And yeah, it's set in the Borderlands universe, but you don't even need to be a big fan of the main games to love this one. It stands on its own. You play as two main characters, Reese, this wannabe corporate dude who works for the mega company Hyperion, and Fiona, a street-smart con artist from the planet Pandora. They're both telling their own version of the same story, and neither of them is 100% honest, which leads to some hilarious, wait, that didn't happen kind of moments. That setup alone keeps things fresh the whole way through.
You are only going to get yourselves killed. Or worse.
The tone is straight up fun. It's goofy and fast and super well written. The humor actually lands, like laugh out loud funny at times, but it never feels like it's trying too hard. It's got that Borderlands vibe, loud, sarcastic, kind of unhinged, but this time with a way more focused story and actual character growth. And yeah, it's a Telltale game, so it's all about choices, dialogue, and those big oh no moments where you have to decide something fast and live with it. But compared to other Telltale stuff, this one's way more stylish.
This scam was our biggest yet.
What really hits though is how much you end up caring. Like, yeah, it's funny and chaotic and full of dumb jokes, but underneath all that, there's a real story about friendship, trust, betrayal, and growing up in a world that's pretty much garbage. By the time it ends, you're like, dang, I wasn't ready for the feels. Tales from the Borderlands didn't get enough attention when it dropped, but it's honestly top tier storytelling, not just for Borderlands fans, but for anybody who loves good characters and a wild, fun ride. It's one of those games that people always end up loving after they try it.
Quiet all of a sudden.
Oxenfree.
Whore Island. Sounds a little different than what we're on.
Why would you think I said
Oxenfree is one of those quiet little games that sneaks up on you. Like, you go in thinking it's just a chill indie game about teens on an island, but then it turns into something way creepier, way weirder, and honestly kinda unforgettable. You play as Alex, this teenager heading to a small island with her friends for what's supposed to be a laid-back night of goofing off, talking trash, and maybe breaking some rules, but of course, stuff goes sideways fast. You mess with a weird radio signal, open some kind of creepy dimensional rift, and suddenly the whole island feels off. Like, the air's too quiet, time starts skipping, and dead things don't stay gone. It's not a jump scare kind of horror, it's more that slow, creeping, kind of strange that messes with your head. The gameplay is super simple. You walk around, explore, and talk, a lot of talking, but it's really well written. The way characters interrupt each other or change tone mid-sentence or go quiet during heavy moments, it feels real, natural, and the choices you make in conversations actually shape how your friends feel about you and how the story plays out. Like, not in a huge dramatic way every second, but slowly, over time, little things build up and change how it ends.
Yeah, fun. An excuse to hit run.
Hey, I'm the truthiest truth. Whoever
All right, let's just get on with it.
Okay, so?
The best part though? The vibe. This game is all about atmosphere. The art is simple but beautiful. Soft colors, foggy trees, creepy abandoned buildings. The music's all glitchy and eerie and kinda lo-fi. And that radio mechanic, it's not just a gimmick. You tune through weird frequencies and sometimes you'll catch ghost voices, static messages, or music from somewhere else. It's unsettling in the coolest way.
Yeah, night's not exactly what I expected.
Oxenfree isn't long, you can beat it in 1 or 2 sittings, but it sticks with you. It's simple, it's strange, it's emotional, and it nails that feeling of being a teenager where everything feels like the end of the world and then suddenly it kinda is. You like story games with weird supernatural stuff, cool vibes, and characters that actually feel human? This one's worth your time. Just grab some headphones, turn off the lights, and let it pull you in.
stations that don't exist. Oh my god.
Road 96. Road 96 is one of those games that just feels different. Like, yeah, it's a road trip game, but not the kind with happy songs and cute diners. This one's about running from a messed up country, trying to escape to freedom, and hoping you don't get caught along the way. Every trip is a gamble, every stop is a new story. You play as different teenagers trying to cross the border of a fictional place called Persia. It's got a corrupt government, protests, people disappearing, the whole place is falling apart, and you're just trying to get out. But here's the twist. Every playthrough is different. Different characters, different choices, different paths. One time you might hitchhike with a weird conspiracy nut, another time you're helping a bandit rob a gas station, or maybe you're just walking alone through the desert hoping someone picks you up before you pass out. The way it's set up is kind of like a road movie, chopped up into pieces. You move through random scenes, gas stations, motels, mountain trails, diners, back roads, and each one gives you a bit more of the world, politics, and the people trying to survive in it. You meet a bunch of recurring characters along the way, and every time you run into them, their story moves forward. Some are funny, some are sad, some are just plain weird, but it all connects. What really makes it work is how personal it feels. You're not playing some hero with powers, you're just a scared kid with a backpack and a dream of crossing the border. You make choices that might save you or screw you. Do you steal gas money? Do you rat someone out to the cops? Do you trust the guy with the shotgun in the backseat? It's all up to you. And those choices affect the world too. Little by little, your actions push the country closer to change, or not.
Say what now? Oh, hi, Jared.
Visually, it's got a cool, artsy style, bright colors, soft edges, kind of like a watercolor painting mixed with low poly 3D. The music is also top tier, chill, moody indie tracks that totally nail that bitter, sweet road trip feeling. Road 96 isn't some giant blockbuster, but it's got soul, it's got heart, and it knows how to make you feel like you're really out there on the road chasing something that maybe feels impossible, but you still gotta try. Definitely one of those hidden gems more folks should play.
And their journeys have only just begun. Each decision could shape your destiny and Petria's too. Time for you to hit the road.
Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. You play as two brothers, both at the same time, and I mean literally one on the left stick, one on the right. It sounds weird at first, but once you get the hang of it, it just clicks. They move together, solve puzzles together, climb stuff, carry each other. They're always helping each other out. You feel that connection through the controls, not just the story. It's like the game's teaching you how close they are without saying a word. The story's about them going on this big journey to find a cure for their sick father. That's the whole setup. They leave home, walk through forests, mountains, caves, villages, all kinds of places, some beautiful, some scary. And along the way, you see these tiny little moments between the brothers. One might pet a cat, the other might scare a goat, one might help a person out, the other just wants to keep moving. And the world is kinda like a fairy tale, but darker. You'll see giants, weird creatures, creepy ruins, all sorts of stuff that feels magical, but also a little sad. The game doesn't over-explain anything, it just lets you experience it, like a dream you're walking through. But what really makes this game special is what it does near the end. I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's a part that hits hard, not just emotionally, but how it uses the gameplay to deliver that moment. No cutscene, no dialogue, just your hands on the controller, and suddenly everything feels different. It's one of those rare times where the game makes you feel something just by changing how it played. And that part, yeah, you'll know it when you get there. If you've never played it, go in blind, just sit down with a controller, let it take you for a ride, and don't rush it. Trust me, it's worth it. As Dusk Falls.
You can stick your gag order and your pen right up your ass.
As Dusk Falls might look weird at first, like real weird. The characters don't move smooth like a regular game. It's kind of like a slideshow, like 2 frames per second. You'll probably be like, yo, is my game broken? But hear me out. Once you get into it, you stop caring about the way it looks, because the story totally pulls you in. This game is like playing a TV drama. It's got a strong story with messed up choices, family drama, crime stuff, and a bunch of emotional moments. It starts with a simple thing, 2 families crashing into each other after a robbery goes wrong. One family's just on a road trip trip, the other is desperate and makes a bad move, and then boom, hostage situation, secrets come out, stuff goes crazy real fast. You don't just play one person either, you swap between different characters, adults, teens, even kids. Sometimes you're trying to stay alive, sometimes you're trying to protect someone, sometimes you're just trying not to say the wrong thing, and the choices you make really matter. Like, people can live or die depending on what you do. Yeah, there's no running around or shooting or puzzles, it's just you picking what to say, what to do, and watching the story play out. But it works, and really interesting just after you get that jarring slideshow art style. So yeah, the animation's kinda janky and takes a minute to get used to, but if you like games like Life is Strange, Telltale's Walking Dead, or Heavy Rain, this one's absolutely worth your time. The story's strong, the choices matter, and by the end, you'll be thinking about everything you did. Give it a shot, just get past the weird look, and it'll grab you.
Improvising. I'm not just gonna abandon you.
Family means sacrifice.
American Arcadia. American Arcadia is one of those games that feels like a hidden gem you just randomly stumble into, but once you're in, you're like, wait, why aren't more people talking about this? So here's the deal. It's kind of like if The Truman Show met Inside with a little bit of Papers, Please sprinkled in. You play as this regular guy named Trevor who lives in this 70s style city where everything seems chill on the surface, but turns out he's actually being watched 24/7 on a live TV show without even knowing it. Like straight up reality TV, but creepy. And yeah, when he finds out, he tries to escape. The cool part is that the game doesn't just stick to one style. Half the time you're playing as Trevor, doing classic side-scrolling platformer stuff, running, climbing, hiding, dodging, security, kind of like Limbo or Inside, but the other half you play as Angela, this hacker girl trying to help him escape from behind the scenes. And when you're her, it switches to a full 3D first-person view where you're solving puzzles, messing with computers, unlocking doors, stuff like that. It flips back and forth and keeps things fresh the whole way through.
Yes, I got it!
The whole vibe is really slick. It's got that retro futuristic look, bright colors, old school tech, weirdly clean buildings. The city looks cool, but once you realize it's basically one big lie, everything starts feeling off in a good way. Kinda like you're in this fake perfect world with something wrong under the surface. American Arcadia is short and sweet, no bloat, just a cool idea done right. It's one of those games where you get pulled in by the mystery, stay for the characters, and by the end you're like, yeah, that was dope. If you're into story games with a little action and some sneaky puzzle stuff, don't sleep on this one.
On the run on camera 4025. Interrupt broadcast immediately.
Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush is one of those games that just makes you smile the second you start playing. It's bright, it's loud, it's full of color, and most of all, it's got rhythm. Like literally, the whole game moves to the beat. Your attacks, your dodges, your combos, even the enemies and the world around you, everything's synced up to the music and it feels awesome. You play as this dude named Chai, who's kind of a wannabe rock star. He signs up for some tech experiment, something goes wrong, and boom, now his heart is synced to music forever. So everything he sees, hears, and does is all tied to a beat. It's a dumb setup, but the game knows it's dumb, and it has so much fun with it. The tone is goofy, but never annoying, just lighthearted and fun the whole way through.
Handling technologies isn't just coming from my arm.
The gameplay is like a mix between a rhythm game and a character action game, kind of like Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, but way more chill. You don't have to be perfect with your timing, but if you land your hits on beat, you do more damage, your combos look flashier, and the music kicks in harder. It's super satisfying, and when you're in the zone, you feel like a total badass. Every level is a full-on music video. Platforms move on the beat, background objects bounce to the rhythm, even boss fights feel like giant concerts. The art style is cartoony in the best way, like a Saturday morning cartoon mixed with a comic book. And the animation? So smooth, so clean, so fun to watch. And yeah, there's a story too. Chai teams up with a bunch of rebels, each with their own cool personality and combat style. You get partners who jump in during fights, each with their own abilities. It's not some deep emotional tale or anything, but it's fun, it's fast, and it actually has some really sweet character moments mixed in with the dumb jokes. The music slaps too. It's got a mix of original tracks and licensed songs from bands like Nine Inch Nails and the Black Keys. Every boss has their own theme, and when the fight hits, the music just explodes. You can't help but get hyped. What's wild is that this game dropped with zero marketing, just shadow dropped out of nowhere, and somehow ended up being one of the freshest, most creative games in years. No microtransactions, no bloat, no games as a service junk, just a full, polished, complete game made with love. Hi-Fi Rush is pure fun, and we don't get enough of that anymore. It's stylish, it's creative, it feels good to play, and it never overstays its welcome. If you love games that try something different and actually nail it, you need to play this. It's a rhythm action blast from start to finish. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. This game, man, it's not just good, it's legendary. It's one of those games that defined a generation, and for good reason. It's a classic action-adventure title that still holds up incredibly well today. You play as the prince, who's not your typical damsel in distress prince. This guy is a total acrobat, a skilled warrior, and he's got this magical dagger that lets him control time. The story is inspired by the Arabian Nights, which gives it this fantastic mythical feel. It's a tale of betrayal, magic, and a touch of romance all wrapped up in a thrilling adventure. The gameplay is where Sands of Time really shines. It's a perfect blend of parkour, combat, and puzzle solving. The parkour is so fluid and responsive, running along walls, leaping across huge gaps, climbing up ledges. It just feels so natural and satisfying. It's like you're actually controlling a nimble, agile warrior. The combat is engaging too. It's not overly complex, but it's well designed. You got your sword, and you can string together combos, block attacks, and use the environment to your advantage. Taking down enemies feels good, and there's a satisfying weight to the combat. But the real game changer, the thing that made Sands of Time so innovative, is the time rewinding mechanic. It's brilliant. You can rewind time a few seconds, which is a lifesaver when you inevitably mess up a jump, fall off a ledge, or get ambushed by enemies. It's not just a gimmick, it's a core part of the gameplay, and it adds a strategic layer to every encounter. It's like having a do-overs button, but it's more than that. It allows you to experiment, take risks, and learn from your mistakes without having to start from scratch. And the visuals, even though it's an older game, it still looks great. The art style is distinctive and vibrant, and the environments are beautifully designed. It's a visually appealing game, and it helps to create this immersive and magical atmosphere. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time is more than just a game. It's an experience. It's a timeless classic that combines thrilling gameplay, a captivating story, and a truly unique mechanic. If you're a fan of action-adventure games, or even if you just appreciate a well-crafted game with a touch of magic, you owe it to yourself to play Sands of Time. It's a game that deserves its place in gaming history. Max Payne 3. Max Payne 3 is a gritty, action-packed third-person shooter. It's a bit of a departure from the earlier Max Payne games in some ways, but it still retains that signature noir feel and bullet time action. You play Max Payne, a former NYPD detective who's now working as a private security contractor in Sao Paulo, Brazil. He's a broken man haunted by his past, and he's struggling to stay afloat. Things quickly go south, as they always do for Max, and he finds himself caught up in a dangerous conspiracy. The gameplay is all about intense gunfights. Max can still slow down time with his bullet time ability, which allows for some seriously stylish and over-the-top action sequences. It's incredibly satisfying to dive through the air, slow down time, and take out a room full of enemies. The gunplay itself is really well done. The weapons feel weighty and impactful, and the environments are destructible, which adds to the intensity of the firefights. There's a good variety of weapons to choose from, and you can dual wield them for extra firepower. Max Payne 3 also features a cover system, which allows you to take cover behind objects to avoid enemy fire. However, the game encourages you to be aggressive and use bullet time to push forward and take the fight to the enemy. The story is a big part of the game. It's a dark and gritty tale and explores Max's character in depth. He's not a typical action hero. He's flawed, vulnerable, and often makes questionable choices. The story is well written and engaging, and it will keep you hooked until the very end.